man, tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, and the pastor.
This is the magic man, the tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, coming back at you again with another video. Okay, people, this is going to be one of my last videos on actually Djokovic and how he relates to the GOAT debate and will the Djokovic be the GOAT, and just how the Djokovic fit into the whole GOAT debate, whether he is the GOAT, will be the GOAT, won't be the GOAT. And well, I will talk about Djokovic. What I do have coming, probably next week, when I remember I told y'all I'm gonna write down all the different categories, my formula, how I determine the GOAT. And then I'm going to compare Djokovic with Federer. I'm going to put Djokovic's stats and everything right beside Federer's stats. And I'm going to interpret that and let y'all know who I think is the GOAT at that time, okay? And I'm going to compare Djokovic with Nadal. Because everybody always talk about Djokovic versus Federer as far as the GOAT. What about Djokovic? Is he already greater than Nadal? Nobody want to talk about that, man. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the table. All right, now, this video, people, is about what does Djokovic have to do right now to become the GOAT, starting right now. And somebody may say, well, Magic Man, that's pretty simple. He needs to win 20 majors or more. He needs to surpass Federer in majors. Okay, all right, people, that sounds pretty simple, but let's say if Djokovic came to me and said, Magic Man, I want to hire you as my GOAT coach. I want you to be my GOAT coach, meaning I want you to show me the pathway, how I can not only surpass Federer, I want it to be I don't want any doubt that I'm greater than Federer. I don't want Federer fans to say something like Federer has a record 310 weeks at #1, a record 237 consecutive weeks #1. Magic Man, can you show me the pathway how to become the GOAT without any doubt, where it's not arguably I'm the GOAT, but it's unarguably I'm the GOAT, no doubt whatsoever. Okay, now the first thing I would say, so I say, oh hey Djokovic, this is what I would do. I would tell Djokovic, first of all, keep doing what you are doing. And he'll say, what's that? That is, you are becoming the GOAT in an all-around way. You are hitting Federer from every category, and meaning you win on all surfaces, you back #1 again, and I'm going to get to that. That's really the secret right there. It ain't just see, I get to the #1 thing. So I tell Djokovic, keep doing what you doing, beating Nadal, beating Federer, beating all top 10 players, just dominating everything, winning everything, winning ATP, even though Djokovic, you sort of messed up. You let Zverev win that ATP finale, you would have tied Federer. That was huge. So make sure this year, at the end of 2019, win that ATP finale at the end of the year. That would tie Federer. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. And if you can, win that Grand Slam. That'll really do, man. Win that Grand Slam, buddy, and you will really be there. You will really be right there with Federer then. And definitely equal, okay? And win that French Open, beating Nadal in the French Open. Okay, I would tell him to do that, and that would mean you will have held all 4 titles for the second time. So Djokovic said, okay, Magic Man, okay, I'm headed that way right now. I think I'm gonna beat Nadal in the French Open. So then I will have held all 4 titles twice. Magic Man, would that make me the GOAT? I would say, Djokovic, there would still be doubt. I'm not sure that will make you the GOAT. So imagine Djokovic just said, well, imagine, man, what is it? Djokovic, I'm gonna say Djokovic, check this out. This is something nobody is gonna tell you. Federer fans, they're not gonna tell you. And Federer is not going to tell you. And Federer knows this. And Djokovic say, what is it, Magic Man? Is it to win the 20 majors? We know that, Magic Man. We know I got to surpass Federer and win 21 or 22 majors. No, Djokovic, let me tell you it's one category that Federer fans, they brag about it all the time. It's a category that you not close to, Djokovic. It's a category, Djokovic, that Nadal is not close to. That's why I never put Nadal over Federer. So Djokovic say, Magic Man, what is it? I'm gonna say Djokovic. It's the being number one category. It's the weeks at number one category, and it's the being number one, the consecutive weeks, the most amount of weeks at number one. Djokovic, that is the category that you are not close to Federer at. So, and there's two parts of that category. Okay, the most realistic category is that Djokovic, you got right now 237 weeks at number one. Federer still is way ahead. He got 310. So Djokovic, you need to be number one almost for another, almost a year and a half. That's not easy, man. You need to be number one for a year and a half. Okay? To tie that record tie the record and break that record that Federer has for being number one in the world for 310 weeks. That takes about a year and a half. That's about a year and a half, okay? All right. So that's the first thing, okay? Now, just to show y'all, now let me get back to this. Just to show y'all, people, listen. I don't forget that major thing. See, if you see Djokovic is saying, imagine, man, shouldn't I be focusing on the majors when getting the 20? I say, Djokovic, listen, my man, if you hold that number one spot down, that will win the majors. Especially you, because you have to be locked in to stay number one. The majors will come, okay? And you have to be number one, you got to win the majors. Because you got to get that 2,000 points at the majors to hold that number one spot. All right. So people, let me just say something, people. People, listen. Federer fans are saying, shut up, tennis prophet. You were right. Federer fans are pissed at me now. They know that. People, the thing that makes Federer, the reason why Nadal experts have never put Nadal over Federer. Can you imagine if Nadal had 310 weeks at number one? That's almost 5 years. Over 4.5 years at number one. Can you imagine if Nadal had that? I know Nadal got the year end. That's different. That's like taking over the number one spot in November and holding it for 2 months, and then you become the year-end number one. Now, we talking about holding that spot down, man, for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, like Pete Sampras did it, and like Federer did it, man. So I'm telling Djokovic, break that 310 weeks at number one that Federer got. Break that. And by the time you break that in a year and a half, you will already be about 19 or 20 already. And then with all your other achievements that Federer does not have, that would make you the undisputed GOAT. Okay? Listen. Federer fans know this. And Federer knows it. That's why Federer knows that, see, Federer fans know that the reason why Nadal is not greater than Federer, it's got to do with that 310 weeks at number one. Because, see, people, when you can hold a number one spot down for that long, that creates your era. See, I mean, you don't have to quite hold it down that long. See, you know that thing some critics of Nadal have said, and Federer fans say this about Nadal. They say Nadal has never had his era. See, Djokovic, now I'm talking to Djokovic now. Djokovic, and I'm going to tell you, no, that's one other thing, though. people, there's one other thing that Djokovic can do to make him almost the undisputed GOAT. I'm gonna tell you what, here's another thing. And this has to do with the #1 spot down. Holding that #1 spot down, what it does is create an era. See, it's still about holding that #1 spot down and breaking that Federer 310 weeks at #1. People, Djokovic has already done something that nobody else has done in the history. This is huge, people. It's almost like right now, if I really wanted to, but I don't want to do that. I don't feel quite that this can top Federer right now. But I could argue this right here, people. Djokovic has already created his era for almost 5 years, between 2011 2016. We know Federer had an era. Sampras had an era. Ivan Lendl had an era. Now check this out, people. Djokovic, since 2018 winning the Wimbledon, he's created another era. It's already lasted from 2018, just 7 months ago, almost 8 months ago. Djokovic has created a second era. Nobody has ever done that. Now Federer almost sort of did. He had a resurgence, but it wasn't an era because Nadal had his resurgence too. So Nadal won 2 majors in 2017. Federer won 2 majors. So Federer really, he almost did it, but not quite. Djokovic has created a second era. Nobody has ever done that, man. Djokovic, that's it. And the way the way you create an era is to hold down that #1 spot, okay? Hold that #1 spot down for consecutive weeks and months and years, all right? And you will be the undisputed GOAT. There will be nothing, because you got everything else Federer got. I know you got one ATP finale behind, but man, if you hold the #1 spot down, you'll win all the other stuff, okay? So that's the secret, Djokovic. The Federer fans won't tell you that, and Federer knows that. If you take that achievement, the 310 weeks away from Federer, that would make you the undisputed GOAT, okay? Because by the time you get off, because somebody would say, well, Magic Man, that's okay, we got that. Being #1 is a great category, because it's probably harder to be #1 for consecutive years than to win a major. Because why hasn't Cilic, who has a major, why hasn't Del Potro, who has a major? They have never been close to #1, really, okay? So obviously holding that #1 spot down for many, many months and many years is hard, very difficult. Okay, people? So that's what I would tell Djokovic right there. And people, now, let me just go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and touch on this, because my next video is going to be on what Federer needs to do to secure the #1 spot and keep Djokovic and Nadal or anybody from surpassing him. But people, let me just say this here. Federer, even with Djokovic, I say that Djokovic, there's one thing he needs to do definitely to make him like that undisputed GOAT, or to become the GOAT, is, like I said before, break that record of 310 weeks at #1. But people, Federer got another record that has to do with the #1 spot. He has a record number 237 weeks at #1. Djokovic's record was 122. So now, see, that's the hardest record to break, and Djokovic may never break that record, people, because you have to start back over again. In other words, Djokovic, he will have to hold the #1 spot down when he became #1 in November, or whenever he became #1. Okay, starting from November, people, he got to be #1 for 237 weeks. And let's say he hold the spot down for 120 weeks, and then lose the spot for a couple weeks, then he got to start back over again. So he'll probably never break that record, because you got to be #1 consecutively for 237 weeks. And if you lose it for just 1 week, I don't care if you got 236 weeks at #1. If you lose the spot for #1, I mean, if you lose the spot for just 1 week, and you already got 237 consecutive weeks, you almost break Federer's record, tied and break it. If you lose the #1 spot at the 236th week, you got to start back over again. So Djokovic would probably never break that record, people. That tells you how great Federer is. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that right there. So you also see it's about that #1 spot. That's what keeps Federer really over Nadal. Okay, people? Tennis preacher, prophet, psychic, signing off. Have a good one.
Man, tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, and the pastor.